Let's head to Tuscaloosa, where the Tide are hosting a big visit weekend with LSU coming to town. Big game, big visit. Sounds like just another weekend for Alabama recruiting. In this video, we'll hit on two important official visitors. Bama is also locked in a heated SEC battle for both Zay Mincy and Daniel Hill. We have intel on both, plus much more. But first, Alabama fans, before we get going, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We need you to be a part of it. Hit subscribe. Thank you. All right, let's bring on my guy, Andrew Bone from BamaOnline. Look at these official visitors. We got Jayshon Ross from Kansas City, then also edge Elias Williams, who's committed to Mizzou. Let's start with Jayshon Ross. How long and how deep is this recruitment? Where does he stand on the board?
Yeah, so Jayshon Ross is actually a new name for Alabama. It's a kid that received an offer from the Crimson Tide a couple weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago. And Coleman Hutzler, Alabama's outside linebackers coach, went and saw him play last week. Now, the offer happened about 3 weeks ago. Coleman Hutzler finally was able to go out, watch him play on Friday night during Alabama's bye week. They were really impressed. 6'4", 225-pound outside linebacker out of Kansas City. This is a kid that took a lot of his official visits during the summer. Now, he took a few during the fall. Oklahoma, Kansas State, Nebraska, all in contention there. But we do know that Alabama is pushing hard here. They really like him a lot. He could potentially be that outside linebacker that Alabama is looking for in this class. They do have three inside linebacker commits right now. Could potentially add one more in Jayshon Ross. One other linebacker that they really like a lot is Tristan Jernigan, who was supposed to be on campus for an official visit this weekend, but he's decided to wait. He's going to take that official visit in December now, but he's more recruited as an inside linebacker. So, can they potentially add an outside guy in Jayshon Ross? We'll see how the visit goes, over the weekend.
All right, another one that Alabama's kind of turned the heat up in more recent weeks is Elias Williams. He's committed to Missouri, but the three-star edge is taking an official visit to Alabama this weekend. What's the feeling here? Can Alabama flip him?
Yeah, they're trying to. This kid that received an offer from Alabama on August the 28th. Now, 3 days later, he commits to Mizzou. So, it was. I think he pretty much already knew where he was going to go before Alabama extended that offer. But now Alabama has been in the race for the last couple months now. They've been pushing hard. They really like him a lot. There's some other schools that are involved as well. Tennessee extended him an offer. So did USC this fall. He took an unofficial visit to Knoxville a couple weeks ago. Well, I guess you could say last month now. But this is a kid that Alabama really likes a lot on the defensive front. He's 6'4", 270 pounds. I think he's rated as an edge recruit, but more so recruited as a defensive end. Now, I think he's a guy that's having a great senior season, and certainly somebody that Alabama is hoping that they can potentially flip away from Mizzou. But I don't think it's going to come. I think there's some other schools that, like I mentioned, Tennessee, USC, that are involved, and they're going to try to flip them as well.
All right, now let's hit on two names that Alabama fans are very familiar with: Daniel Hill and Zay Mincy. We'll start with running back Daniel Hill. He's out of Mississippi. This has been a South Carolina, Alabama battle. Tennessee also involved a little bit, but Andrew, how many more times does Daniel Hill need to be in Tuscaloosa before he closes this thing out?
Well, Daniel Hill has been to Tuscaloosa more than I have this season, which is kind of wild to see. But this is going to be his fourth trip to Alabama this fall. I think he was at pretty much every home game last football season.
Yeah.
So he's been to Tuscaloosa a lot. We know that his family really likes Alabama. He delayed that decision back in August and has pushed things back to potentially after his senior season's complete. But Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina all still remain in contention for Daniel Hill. I think everyone just assumes that he's going to go to Alabama because of as many times as he's been to Tuscaloosa the last couple of years. But I just don't know if it's a slam dunk just yet. I think he's, there's some reason why he's continuing to wait, and I'm not sure what that reason is. But does another trip to Alabama help? Is it going to be sort of more of the same? we'll kind of see how the weekend goes. But there are other running back targets that are out there that that Alabama's still going after. Not just Daniel Hill, but he's probably the guy that they've recruited the longest to this point. So we'll see kind of how things go. Not necessarily this weekend. I think he's going to enjoy the weekend visit as he always does. I think we're probably going to wait and see, what happens with him after the conclusion of his senior season.
Tailgate season is here, and Inside Scoop fans, I need to tell you about these Bird Dog shorts that I've been wearing. Bird Dogs, they were the big winner for me this summer, and I'm rolling right into the fall with them as well. I wear them to work. I wear them golfing. You guys know I brought them on vacation with me to Florida, so they are definitely my first pick for tailgating. Last weekend, I didn't pull up to Lot B with the boys in my old stiff khakis. Nope. I had my Bird Dogs on instead, and I'm glad I did because it's still hot out there. I know it just became October, and it should be fall, but it is swampy out there. Not in my Bird Dogs, because Bird Dogs have a great cloud knit fabric that looks just like a nice pair of khakis, but way more flexible and way more comfortable. And most importantly, it keeps you cool and dry, even for a noon kickoff. So here's what we're going to do. Go to birddogs.com/Josh. or enter promo code Josh for a Bird Dog Tech hat with your order. Yeah, one of these. Fashionable, it fits, it's great. I love to wear it golfing. Anyway, you get one of those free with your order if you type in birddogs.com/Josh or promo code Josh for a Bird Dog Tech hat. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you. All right, Bone, before we round it out, what is your most memorable LSU Alabama recruiting battle? Because there has been a few.
Yeah, there's been a lot. I mean, you go back to, you look at Landon Collins. I was at the Under Armour game that year when he announced for Alabama, and his mom was shaking her head. And I was standing about 10 feet from him, and I said, there's no chance he signs with Alabama after seeing the way she was acting. But lo and behold, he ends up signing with the Tide. I remember Kenny Bell flipping his commitment from LSU to Alabama on signing day. Nobody even knew he was even a target for Alabama. But we actually sent one of our video guys to his press conference that day. People were asking us, well, why are y'all here? He's going to LSU, and then he signs with Alabama that day. So that was pretty funny. Dylan Moses, that recruitment, being offered by Alabama and LSU when he was just in the 8th grade. I think the thing that kind of started it off though for Alabama was Luther Davis, the big top 100 defensive lineman out of Louisiana, was committed to LSU. Nick Saban arrives on campus, and within a month he flips Luther Davis, who was a U.S. Army All-American, from LSU to Alabama, and it kind of just opened up the door there to say, Alabama's not going to be scared of LSU. They're going to go into Louisiana. Nick Saban's here in Tuscaloosa now, even though everybody in the state of Louisiana and every LSU fan in the world hated Nick Saban at the time. He didn't care. He was going to go into Louisiana, recruit, because he knew that was such a talented, rich hotbed, and he was going to recruit that state really hard. And he's done quite well. We've seen so many top end guys from the state of Louisiana go to Alabama through the years. And, I think that Luther Davis flip really opened the door for Alabama there.
Yeah, and boy, was there some really epic battles, and most of them ended up going Alabama's way. Of course, LSU did win their fair share as well. This year, though, not as many, but hey, it's always fun to look back. Andrew Bone with BamaOnline, thanks for dropping by today on the Inside Scoop and talking about Alabama's big visit weekend.
All right, thanks for having me, Josh.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.